All right, there we go. We're getting it together, everyone. Hey, this is Ground Zero, Florida. This is David Washington. This is the Jay and Washington Network. All right, so what if a century-long fight for equality could change everything with a presidential signature? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now because it did not happen. Now, Senator Russ Feingold and President Biden assert the Equal Rights Amendment, okay, is now constitutional. Despite decades of resistance before President Biden left office, he's like, as far as he's concerned, the Equal Rights Amendment is the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. With 38 states ratifying and scholarly support, the ERA stands ready to enshrine gender equality, challenging historical constitutional silence. Just so close. However, we need the U.S. archivists to just sign off on it. Well, it did not happen. Despite what Senator Feingold, or former Senator Feingold, and President Biden say, and what the scholars say, the 28th Amendment is not the Equal Rights Amendment. And it's another missed opportunity by the Biden administration, by the Harris campaign, by the Democrats, by the liberals to move forward with equal rights for everyone. Now, I'm not a big fan of this particular initiative. However, I followed it and we spoke about it before on our podcast. I believe it was our former flagship podcast, and you can always go back and check that out. That was on You Can't Make This Shit Up. There was an opportunity, especially for those individuals who were looking for more autonomy over their healthcare choices. The pro-abortion coalition were hoping that with the establishment of the Equal Rights Amendment in our Constitution as an amendment would give more strength to the fight for abortion rights. And it didn't happen. And I'm not hearing any of the usual demographic screaming, shouting at the top of their lungs about their president, their Democratic caucus, their liberal allies failing to come through on this particular amendment and putting enough pressure on the National Archivists to sign the document establishing the Equal Rights Amendment. Missed opportunity? Sure, yes. We're not going to see the signature of the ERA during the Trump administration. And I really don't know what to say. It was one of those moments, again, where Democrats have demonstrated that they don't have a backbone. They do not have that let's go, let's get it done mentality. They have the attitude of just sitting back and letting things happen. And what's even more disappointing, and I'll wrap this up, is that the usual coalition, the usual demographic of people who would support the ERA, who lead ballot initiatives for abortion, are not screaming at the top of their lungs about this. are not having those discussions openly with the public. I used to listen to on a regular basis Pod Save America, the liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it, podcast of note. And I stopped listening on a regular basis during the election cycle, this last election cycle. Probably, I would say, up until maybe the first week in October. Um, and the guys there were so sure of a Harris victory and not really taking a closer look at the cracks in the Harris Walz campaign and taking an objective look at what if and what needed to be done to really drive up the numbers of those people needed to come out and vote, and particularly in the seven swing states. And remember, I'm going to make this incredibly clear: 85 to 90 million people, 80 to 90, 85 to 90 million people who are eligible to vote in the 2024 presidential election failed to vote. They did not vote. And if you break down the numbers, state by state by state, by electoral votes, and you look at the number of people who voted for Harris Walz, you look at the people who voted for Trump Vance, and you look at the people who did not vote, by far, on a breakdown of electoral votes, did not vote, secured the most electoral votes than Trump Vance and Harris Walz. If it came down to three people and do not vote was a presidential candidate, do not vote would be our president right now. 85 to 90 eligible voters. 85 to 90 million eligible voters did not vote. So President Trump may have won with 74 to 76, 78 million votes. He does have a mandate when you kind of think about it. With the 85 to 90 million voters, eligible voters who did not vote, coupled with the 76 million voters who voted for Trump, he has a mandate. Those 90 million eligible voters either were okay with what was going on in America and really didn't care who was going to be president because their vote didn't matter. Now, that's a persuasion issue for both parties. Or, for one reason or another, they couldn't fill out a vote by mail ballot. They could not vote it early. And they could not show up on election day for some reason or another. Maybe they moved from one state to another and failed to register at that new location. Again, that's an issue for the parties. I think the bigger issue is that most voters are disgusted with the two-party system. Most voters are tired of the party politics. They're tired of the pandering to them as voters. They're tired of the lackluster messaging that really doesn't address their kitchen table issues. They're tired of the parties running out candidates who just don't connect with them, who are messaging things that are just not important to them. If there was an existential crisis of voting for a particular candidate, don't you think we'll see the same people who lost out there in the streets every single day protesting? What happened to the Million Women's March? Now, granted, there was a recent protest here in Orlando, Florida. Young people. I would say approximately 75 to 100 people. Young people out there protesting women's rights, LGBTQ rights, right to health care, right to immigration, migrant status, a whole host of things. It was cute. It's okay. The problem is what happens later. Where is the liberal Charlie Kirk? Where is the liberal, what is it? The Charlie Kirk organization. I should know this by heart. Something America. I can't remember, but you know what I'm saying, right? Where are those liberal establishments that these young people could connect with and continue to grow and continue to create that message, modify that message, and create a bench. Anyway, I'm on a tangent here. I just want to say that the Democrats missed an excellent opportunity to become relevant again. God bless those young people who were protesting. Hopefully that you'll find structure to carry on your message. Give us a call, message us, do a video, whatever. But, congratulations to, I believe her name was Brie or Brianna, who organized this. Let's keep it going. If there is an existential crisis in government, we need to be out there in the streets demonstrating that. I'm David Washington. This is Ground Zero Florida, our new flagship podcast. I hope you enjoy it. We've had 3-4 episodes now. This is probably the 4th one. But check out our 2 previous episodes, one about AI, the other one with Orange GOP chairwoman, Erin Huntley. That was a good one. Her experience at the inaugural of President Donald J. Trump, our 47th president. And again, please share, like, hit the notification button, but more importantly, comment. Let us know what you think. Bring your facts, not your feelings. And please comment as much as you can. Message us, email us, fax us if you still do that. Send a video. We really love it. Share this with those individuals that you think will benefit from our content. And if they want to contribute to our content, whether it's a family member, a friend, those influencers that you know, a candidate or an elected, please let them know about the Jay and Washington Network. I'm David Washington. This is Ground Zero Florida. We'll see you the next time.